Good evening, all. Today we are going to discuss about the things which need to be known to manage the data effectively. Let's discuss the session agenda. So we'll just have an introduction overview of data management, how data, what are the files and other stuff which is there in Tally. What are the Tally data files? So we'll understand what is the functionality of each files and how it is important in Tally data. Once we understand the data functionalities and the file structure and its behavior, we'll also understand how it becomes an important to configure the data such that you will not face a problem of data is not showing and other stuff. So the next major thing is like how you can manage Tally data from unauthorized access within the organization, which is basically a security control management. So finally, understanding about the current malware and virus, how you can safeguard the data. So ultimately we'll also have a question and answer session. Right, let's start with the introduction of the Tally database. It's in the current business world, in today's business world, managing the data is the critical part of any organization. So we'll discuss about the data and its file structure. So basically, generally the data will be hosted in Tally data folder, which will be in Tally folder, and the company folder looks like this similarly. So these are the files which is there inside data folder. So the first file is additional cmp.900. This basically it contains the audit and compliance details, which is earlier it was there. Now the main thing, let's understand the functionality of these files. cmp sav.900 is a file which is basically a backup of company master, company.900 file. And the company.900 file is a file which contains the name of your company, organization name, organization address, and the state, country, mobile number, and the company books, beginning details, and other stuff. This is very important. Basically, this is the file which publishes the data when you are selecting a company or when you are loading a company. This is the file which publishes you the information. So this is the critical file in the database. This file has to be there to fetch the data. cmp sav.900 is a file which is basically a backup. Why this file is there? In case of any due to any environment factors or other stuff, if this file is corrupted, this can always work as a backup of this file. Next file is called linkmgr.900. This is the file which contains the details of all the bill-wise references, order details, and statutory information and batch information, all those things. Like say for example, if you are passing a payment entry or a receipt entry, you will select against reference, new reference, or when you're raising a purchase order, you will also raise the order details such as the delivery date, the reference, all those stuff. Those details will be stored in this link master. So this is also a very important file which has to be there in Tally data. The next thing is manager.900. Manager.900 is a file which contains all the details of your party details, like sundry data, your creditors, your stock groups, purchases, stock items, cost centers, cost category, all those stuffs. All those informations will be stored in the manager.900. The sumtran.900 is specifically given for the purpose of GST. All the GST level informations will be form level details and all those stuff. Whatever the changes you do in the form will be stored in this sumtran.900. So the next file is transmanager.900. This is the file which contains all the voucher informations, like your payment vouchers, your receipt, your purchase, your sales, all the vouchers which you will be passing. Those informations will be stored in this file. So next comes all the TSF files. These files are called as system files, which is pretty much important. So taccess.tsf is nothing but this file provides the accessibility to the data. That is a behavior of the file. Then txl.tsf, this file widely used in a multi-user environment, wherein it will provide exclusive access. For example, if someone is accessing an outstanding report, the entire access will be exclusive rights will be given to that particular person who is accessing the outstanding report. So the state, basically this is purely a technical thing which tells you the status of the data. And there will be one more file called message file, tmessage.tsf, which basically whenever you enter any information to the database, first it writes to the message file, temporary storage called, that file is called as temporary storage. Then the informations will be posted to the respective 900 files. So we understood about the concepts of file structure of Tally. So now the next main thing is we will understand how we can configure the data so that effectively you can use Tally data seamlessly without any problem. We'll look into the configuration of data. Configuring is nothing but how to set the right information, how to configure the data so that the right data is listed and you can continue using Tally without any hindrance. You can configure the data from two ends. One is from the application itself and the other is from configuration settings. So let's see how we can configure the data from the application. Once you open Tally, press F12, data configuration, and by default whenever you are installing Tally, system will take the existing folder itself. If you wish to change, you can change the folder path also, data folder, if the data is hosted somewhere else, and if you wish to change, you can change it. However, the data should be the location of data files. This is basically where the folder is available. So that path has to be given. Once that path is given, so it will ask the configurations to be changed, so the data is available for accessing. So this is how the data path can be configured from the application. Let's assume that if there is a slight mismatch also, something like by mistake, if you are copying from some other folder, and if the path if you are copying, and if you just paste it the path, and if you by mistake if you add some character, what will happen? It gives you no companies on disk. So generally the main reason for the companies not to list, it's one of the major reason is this: if you are giving the wrong data path, the company will not list it. So now the second option to configure, what you can do is you can also configure the data from configuration settings. So how to discover the configuration settings, you will always have a shortcut icon of Tally. You can also click on either properties or open file location. So once you open the file location, there will be a file called Tally configuration settings. So open the Tally configuration settings. So you can also copy the data. So you can also type the data path. You can either type or you can copy the data path. So let's assume that your data is hosted from here, and you can just press Ctrl Alt V and save. So once the information is saved, the company will be listed. These are the two ways of configuring the data. So we'll move on to the next topic. So how I can back up my data, right? How I can back up my data. So we can back up the data in multiple ways. One is in the local system through network, external storage such as pen drive, external hard disk, etc. scheduling a backup using third-party tool. How to back up my data is one of the major things, which is very easy in Tally. Right, let's assume that it is already available in the company info screen. Right, so there is a quite possibility that, so what will happen, so generally what will happen, this option will not come. The reason being, by default, if the company on load is yes, load a company on startup, this option won't come. So better option would be you set the option to no, load companies on startup should be no always. Then this option of backup and restore will come in company info screen. So now we'll go to the backup part. So what is the source? The source is nothing but where the data is available and ready to be backed up. The destination is nothing but where you want to back up the data. The destination where you want to copy the data. So let's assume that I wanted to copy the data to D:, and I'm giving today's date. So it will ask me, so it's already available. Now we can go to Alt or D:, 13th March. If you see here, there is a backup file available. Now there is one more information, useful information here. The backup file will be with the TBK 900 _ 00019.001. So 00019.001 is a company folder. So now let's assume that you are trying to restore a backup. So system will always tell you that this file is already exists. Do you want to overwrite? Right? So this is how you can back up the data in the local machine. If you want to back up the data in a network, it can also be done. So Control C, backup. Again, you have to only change the destination path, and it is backing up. So if you see here, it is already, it's backed up in the network also. So we were discussing about the next part, which is external storage such as pen drive, external hard disk, etc. So how to back up in the external hard disk, I can just show you. Let's assume that I have only two partitions, which is C: and D:. If I insert a new pen drive or an external hard disk, it gives you F:. So you can also back up in the external hard disk. So this will be the safer part. So let's assume that if something happens to the system, you can always fall back to your external hard disk. So restore is also easy. So now let's assume that you are trying to restore from a network. So it will show you the list of companies to restore. Now if you press enter, if you press yes, the data will be restored. The restoring functionality is same across all the modes, like if you take the backup in this way. We'll go to the next part of it. The next major thing is how I can secure the data from unauthorized access. Data security is one of the important aspects of an unauthorized access to the company data. So how we can do is, you can set up the security control using Tally, creating multiple users along with password policies, effective management of data history through Tally audit. So we'll see how we can manage. So let's assume that I have a company and I need to set the security. So I have not set the company security in this. So for setting the company security, you have to press Alt F3. So first you have to set the basic supervisor, we call it as supervisor security credentials. Go to Alter, there is an option called Use Security Control. So once you set the Use Security Control, you have to set the username, which is administrator, And the next thing is password. So let's assume that, so moment when you type something, it tells you the strength of the password. I'm setting the password. So moment when I add the characters, or the strength will be improved. So once this is done, it will ask me to confirm the again password. Ensure that you are not forgetting the password. This is the most important critical part. Once you set the password, you should ensure that the password is not forgotten. If you are forgetting the password, even will not be able to recover the data. So once this is done, this is called, once the password is set, the next main option is to set the audit feature. So let's assume that you have set the audit feature. So now it will ask me to log in with super user credentials. So once this is done, this is the first step of securing the credentials. We'll go to the next part, setting up of user credential. This is the very much important part. This is specifically, let's assume that you have multiple users and you wanted to assign the rights based on their work. They have to do only that particular work. So there is an option here, security control, and see, there is a new feature called password policy. What is a password policy? As you all aware that whenever you're setting up a security, it can be an app password or it can be a net banking password or anything, there is a certain rules. Let's assume that you should have 4 alphabets, 1 numerical and 1 special character. Similarly, we are also having that particular feature in Tally. So once you enable this password policy, you have to set this option to yes. Once this is done, it will ask you what should be your password strength, whether you wanted to have 3 character, 4 character, 8 characters, like that. So you can set 8 characters. So if you don't want to set any parameters like minimum number of alphabets, minimum number of characters, special characters, and so forth, you can check that option. If you want to set, you can set. So once you set that option, the user has to stick to that. Let's assume that if he is giving 5 characters or 6 characters, system will not accept. What is the password expiry? Whether you wanted to set the password expiry for every 30 days, it is basically decision based. So once that is done, it will also notify when it has to be notified. Let's assume that 5 days if you give, from 85th day onwards, system will prompts the message that your password is about to expire. Please configure the new password. So, and also there is an option whether you wanted to allow number of passwords to restrict to be reused. For example, I have used the password A, and do you want to use it? Do you want to allow him to restrict not to use that password? You can also allow. So these are the things which can be configured. Once this is done, so the next step, major step is users and password. I am configuring the data entry password. So I have configured. Now there is an option called types of security. So let's assume that I have a purchase department. So it is under data entry, and there is an option full access for accounting vouchers. You can restrict according to full access for balance sheet, full access for profit and loss account, and he can create accounting masters, create inventory masters, and create only purchase is. So once this is done, the user can be allocated to that. So I'll be logging in with the user. Now once I log in, system will ask you to change the password. So I have logged in. I can create So if you see, I can only create the ledgers, I cannot do anything else. Similarly, now I'll be passing the purchase entry. So I'm able to pass the entries. See, I don't have any access. I don't have a balance sheet access. I can go to, that's all. Once I pass an entry, I'll not be able to access the vouchers also. So I have only the rights to create the voucher. So now let's assume that my admin will do some changes. So basically what I'm doing is, once the entry is done, so we discussed about how to know the history, what happened to the voucher. There is an option called tally audit. If you remember that I have enabled a tally audit feature here, which is called, basically the functionality of this feature is it tells you the history of the voucher, what's happened to that voucher, who has created, who has modified, who has cancelled, all those stuff. So now the user has created the voucher. Now I'll do a tally audit. Basically I'll select the voucher called purchase, and I'll only do this audit, because if I'm doing all the other audits, because since it will also show unknown, since I'm enabling now, it will show unknown for the previous one. So now I'm accepting only this particular voucher. Now I'll go to the same data and I'll modify it to 13,000. So now with this, if you see here, there is an option called F12 show entered by and altered by. See, if you see here, it also tells you who has created the voucher and who has modified the voucher. Who has created the voucher and who has modified the voucher, on which date the voucher is modified. So let's assume that I have deleted this voucher by mistake. It also gives you who has deleted. So based on this is called as an audit log. Based on this, you can take the further activity. So this is how you can safeguard the data unauthorized access to the database. So thank you very much for all of your participation.